You know what I find really frustrating? Pain at the front of the hip. I get it, a lot of our clients get it, and it can make activities like walking, getting up after sitting for long periods, or squatting down in the garden really challenging.
So in today's video, we have 3 exercises that might help with anterior hip pain. Okay, so our first exercise is leg raises. So you might want to hold on to something like Ollie is, and you will be raising your knee up. So a nice controlled movement up and down, and you might even add a pause at the top there. And a harder version of this would be to do it with a straight leg. So keeping the leg straight and raising it up. And just be mindful of your range of motion, doing what's tolerable for you with this exercise. And we'd be aiming for between 8 to 15 reps and doing 3 sets of that exercise.
Okay, exercise number 2. This one's great for building some strength in the muscles at the front of the hip, and it's called the reverse Nordic. Now, for this one, we're going to start nice and slow, but Alicia's kneeling down on a really soft padded cushion. So this sort of thing is ideal, but if you haven't got access to that, you could try stacking up a few towels so that it's nice and comfortable on your knees. Now, you can see Alicia's in tall kneeling, all right, from her shoulders to her knees. All she's going to do is really slowly just lean back, okay? And she might just go to there for starters. She might do a few repetitions until she feels a little bit more comfortable with the movement. And she's going to slowly work towards the furthest back position that she can manage. And that's working these muscles in the front of the hip and the quadriceps. Lovely. Now, it might be a little bit challenging to start with, but as I said, you're just going to build up over time until you can get further back. And once again, we'd start with about 3 sets of between 8 and 15 repetitions. But if you wanted to start with less repetitions, that would be fine. All right, exercise number 3 is the squat. It's a great exercise for building lower body strength and challenging the hips. And we think you should continue to do it even if you are getting some symptoms. But we're going to show you a couple of ways that you can use to reduce your symptoms, make it more manageable. So, Alicia, the first thing we would try with anterior or front hip pain when you're squatting is changing the stance a little bit. So, Alicia's got a shoulder width stance at the moment with her toes fairly forwards. The first thing she could try is a wider or a narrower stance, okay? So just show us a couple of reps there, Alicia. All right. Now, that might make the symptoms more manageable. If not, we can try a narrower stance. So bringing the feet into about hip width is a good starting point. For some people, that will become a little bit more tolerable. Now, if neither of those work, we can then move to changing the toe angle. So in either of those stances, Alicia can turn her toes out. All right, so that's quite a lot of toe out angle. And for some people, that might help to manage the symptoms. Another tip is to change the torso angle, okay? So Alicia, if you turn directly side on, we get a good look at the torso angle here. So do a couple of squats. Okay, so Alicia can actually lean forward more, like so, okay? And just do one more. Or alternatively, if that doesn't work to help manage the symptoms, she can stay more upright. Now, some people will be able to do it like Alicia's showing. If not, it can be a good idea to put something under the heels, which makes it a little bit easier to adopt that very upright position. Okay, so we've got a towel here. Alicia's going to pop her heels on the towel. That allows her to stay a little bit more upright. And for some people, that can have a big impact on your symptoms and allow you to keep squatting. Now, if none of those options work, we still think a squatting movement is a good idea. In this case, we'd try something like a sit to stand. Okay, so instead of squatting from a standing position, we just start sitting on a chair and stand up. And for a lot of people, that can help with their symptoms and allow you to keep squatting.
Okay, so there you have it. 3 exercises that might help with that pain at the front of your hip. So remember, 8 to 15 repetitions of 3 sets, and make sure you keep the exercises manageable and tolerable.
See you in the next video. Make sure you stay hip.